evening to you, and wherever you're watching us from right now. My name is Reverend Larry Dokken. This evening, I have with me in the studio some very special guests. Some special ladies actually, and we're going to be talking about slavery, modern day slavery, and human rights abuses. But also, we're going to be looking at why the subject of slavery, the history of slavery, is not much talked about these days. And so these ladies are from the University of Professional Education in Doetinchem, in the Netherlands. So they are going to be, they are our guests, and they're going to be telling us more about what they have been doing regarding this subject matter. It's my honor to, first of all, welcome these young ladies, but they have been led here by the leader, Dr. Esther, and she's going to, we're going to put it on so she can say hello. Well, I'd like to say, Dr. Esther, welcome to Majesty Christian TV Network.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you. And to the ladies as well.
Hello.
Welcome, ladies. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, basically, let me just start by saying that millions of men and women and children around the world are forced to lead lives as slaves. Although this exploitation is often not called slavery, the conditions are the same. People are sold like objects, forced to work for little or no pay, and at the mercy of their employers. Now, we know that slavery was abolished centuries ago, but at the same time, there are things happening in our world today which very much is just like the slavery, if not worse than the slavery of the past. Now, Dr. Esther is with us here today to discuss this matter in a very broad terms, but especially because these students and some of them who have graduated, they have some issues to share with us. So I want you to be curious enough to know what they are going to talk about. Okay, so let's kick the ball rolling by asking Dr. Esther, what is the message that you brought with these beautiful ladies to us here in Amsterdam?
The most important thing is that both in the Dutch curriculum as well as in the Antilles, slave trade seems every now and then just not be part of the primary school curriculum, nor from teacher training colleges.
Really?
People do not have much knowledge about it, and it seems that some people want to forget completely this black pages in history.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's mentioned in methods like history methods, sometimes it's not.
Mm-hmm. And
when it's mentioned, it's sometimes done in a way that children cannot really understand.
Okay. Do you think there's a reason why these important lessons, historical lessons, are left out of the pages? Maybe it's income. Income. Yeah. Maybe you want to weigh in on that. Why are these lessons not really taught, brought out to the pupils in the schools?
Well, I don't really know why they don't do it, but they all do it in different ways. So some lesson plans are very elaborated.
Okay.
And some are maybe smaller amount.
Yeah. 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 Keep talking. Keep talking.
I don't know if you know any reason. I don't know if anybody has a specific reason why we would leave such an important subject out. I don't think that we consciously try to leave it out of the history plans. But it could be more elaborated, and that's what we try to do. We try to do it in a different way.
Okay. And we have Imka, we have Tanya.
Yes, that's me.
Tanya, okay, let's hear your voice because I remember your name. Let's say something. Let's hear you out.
Well, if you look at the methods we have in the Netherlands, and you look at, for example, World War II, that's only 5 years of history, but it contains a lot of the books. And when you look at slavery, it's only 200 years. And sometimes we put it in one lesson, and that's not really the same amount. So that's why we made up this lesson plan, so we can put everything in it and teach it to the children.
Yeah. So, okay, now let's hear the names. Actually, I'm struggling with the names. Sabine.
Yes.
Can you tell us something? What do you feel and think about the extent to which slavery is taught in the schools? What do you think will be the impact upon our young people if they don't know much about, the history of slavery. Sabine, yeah.
There isn't.
It's okay, the back and have this one.
There isn't much information in the methods about slavery and human rights, and not about the combination between these two. So we made a lesson plan about the combination slavery and human rights, and we would like the people, the students, to connect with each other, and that they recognize themselves about who they are, and that they can learn from each other.
Okay. So when let's say the lessons are taught about slavery in the past to the students, what do you think will be the impact on them? How would they affect their knowledge, their behavior, the way they see, life, and they see other people? How do you think the impact will be if it is corrected the way we're talking about right now? Maybe Sien, yeah. You are who's Croton House? You are
Yes.
House. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
I think when we teach the children about the slavery, they know about the history of all the children, not only the Dutch history, but also the history of the children from Africa or the Antilles.
Yeah.
So they can understand each other.
Better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what is it that is giving you young ladies, you Dutch young ladies, the passion and the desire to make this information known more fully? Because you shouldn't be bothered, because you were not there when your ancestors did that.
Mm-hmm.
So why should you be bothered now?
So first of all, we.
Is this a fair question?
It's a fair, it's a fair question. In the same time, I think there are so many philosophers who say that be empathetic. Try to reason not only from your own standpoint, but from many others. Like Hannah Arendt said that if we try any time that you are alone or there's just few people from the same group with you, then please try to also think about the standpoints of others to get a complete view, and before you decide to do anything, whatever, what may have influence on another person, try to empathize, and you will see that sometimes you have to decide something else than what you thought was the best, possibly the best for you individually, but not necessarily for the whole group.
Yes. Okay. I want to hear the answer of Sien. You were not involved in slavery personally,
No.
not even your grandfather, I'm sure.
No.
Okay, but maybe generations before them. Okay. But now, why do you have the passion and the desire to see to it that, the information is fully passed on to this younger generation?
Well, yes, first of all, we had the opportunity to go to do an internship.
Yeah. Where?
Abroad, in St. Martin.
St. Martin's, okay.
Yes, and there we saw how slavery is...
the impact on the people there.
Yes, nowadays. So, and then you realize...
Wait, how many of you went? All of you went?
Yes.
Yeah.
You went as a group or separately?
Yes,
No,
as
together.
As a group. Yeah.
Really? And then tell us what happened. What did you feel? Yes.
So we spoke with some people there, and they told about the impact nowadays they have from the slavery. So
That they still have an enslaved mind. Even though it's
Pass on the mic to it.
Yeah.
Well, we spoke to some people, and even though it's gone, it's a couple long years ago. That still effects are visible on them. That they try to be white to look like us. We met someone we had a conversation with, and in the middle of the conversation, she put her, I thought it was real hair. She put her hair off, and underneath the wig there was curly hair, but she was wearing a straight wig. So she had hair that looked like us.
Straight, okay.
Yes, and she tried to look like us. That really impressed me. Oh, sorry. And that people were trying to look like us, and for me, I was really shocked about that.
I didn't know that before.
Okay, so that made you feel. What did you feel towards them? Did you feel sympathetic, or did you feel empathetic towards them? I mean, what was the emotion which was drawn out of you towards them when you saw them trying to be like Dutch. I mean, like white Dutch people. So let me use that expression. I mean, how did that make you feel when you saw them trying to be like you?
Well, first of all, I felt. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's the microphone. How did you boost up the soda? Okay, good. Thank you.
I actually felt naive for myself because I was thinking I was raised like everybody's equal, no matter what you look like or whatsoever. So we went there with the idea of everybody's equal, and we know that slavery was in the past.
Yeah.
And then she showed us all these things that nowadays still happen actually, and that she really, as Tanya already said, has an enslaved mind, and that goes for many people.
Yeah.
So first of all, I felt naive. I felt like, okay, what did I miss?
Yeah.
Is it really? Why is it such a big deal, and did I not know about it?
Yeah.
And second, you just feel shocked. You want to understand how these people feel, and at the other hand, you cannot really feel like them. So these conversations really kept us going. It was like an eye opener to us, and from there we were more or better able to describe characters actually in our lesson plans.
Yeah.
To for the children to be able to identify themselves with, and to get rid of this enslaved, but that will take a long while.
Yeah, I think it will be very, very nice. You've been to St. Martin's, as you said. It will be very nice to take you young ladies with Dr. Esther, of course. She's been to Africa, married to Africa. It would be nice to take you to Ghana, where you can see some of the castles which were used to imprison the slaves and to prepare them before they were shipped. Yeah, if you go there and you go to the dungeon to see the horrific things they went through, I'm sure it will move you to do something. But already what I see you guys are doing, it's a beginning. You know, you're beginning to empathize with the people and what they went through. Are you by any means behind this whole thing? Are you causing a revolution in their hearts to to make them want to, do something, and maybe cause some reparation, to come about for the slavery of the past?
If it's revolutional, of course, nobody will say about him or herself that, I'm a revolutional. But I think it's a very important first step, because what is as important is that teachers in the Netherlands themselves, also important people in the Netherlands, should realize every now and then what they are doing, and that up till now, even me, I guess, often have certain pictures of other people and not realizing how it impacts not only your thought, but also, for example, teachers, what they put in their curriculum or what they do not put in their curriculum. What they see as morally right or morally wrong. And of course, as a mother, I experience daily how it can impact children, but I'm not sure if teachers always realize how it impacts all their pupils.
Yes. Now, just hold on 1 second. You are a teacher.
Yes.
You are a parent also.
Yes.
You're married to an African man.
Yeah.
Now, are you anyway? Does all these circumstances help in any way you to see better the situation of those whose ancestors were slavery? Are you in a better position to see better the disadvantage, maybe the discrimination, and other things which maybe those who have a slavery background maybe go through? Have you been put in a position whereby you can better understand their situation, and for which reason you have the motivation to talk about it, to come out more fully with the story?
Honestly, it should be very arrogant to say that I understand, because I can still not understand. I cannot step in the shoes of, for example, my husband. I cannot step in the shoes of my children, but I can see from very near what happens every now and then. Yes,
okay, hold on. I just want to find out, when your children go to school, because your children are mixed, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you see certain happiness in their lives? I mean, in school, do people relate to them? Which kind of gives you an inkling of what others may be going through? I'm just wondering.
Yeah. it's daily experiences. As when my daughter was 6 years old,
Yes.
and I read a book, and then after all she said, "Mama, it's such a pity that I cannot be a ballet dancer after all, because that's really my dream." And I asked her, "Why not? Of course you can be anything.
You
Work
will.
for it. You can be anything." She
Yeah.
said, "No, you've read all these books to me, and I've seen quite clearly that it's always the white people who are ballet dancers."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I realized immediately that in education,
Yeah.
quite many images,
Yeah.
the identity figures are
Yeah.
very often white in
Yeah,
our
that's true.
society.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
because they are, in the books we use, the examples we use, the songs we sing,
Yeah,
we should be very aware of it.
absolutely.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, the white dominance in society is very big and very strong, and so it kind of it pervades almost every area of society, and so your child, as little as she was, she quickly picked it up and realized that hey, this area is like a preserve for only white people.
Yes.
Although she had desired to be a ballet dancer,
Yeah.
and suddenly she realized that oh, it looks like all those who do ballet dancing they have a different color of the skin.
That's
So
true.
in a subtle way, we enforce this stereotype of racism, of discrimination. It is there in a way, you know, subtly that it's coming across. Don't you agree, ladies? Tell me. I mean, what's your response to the remark I just made? Which of you, Tanya, Sian, and
Imka.
Sabina, Imka?
Well, I think that you might be
Yes.
quite right in that, and
Yeah.
I think that we have very consciously been trying to actually use this misconcept in our lesson plan, because we tried we use a character in every lesson, and these characters can be from all over the world, so that everybody can identify himself with one of these characters.
Yeah, yeah.
So we try to change this picture of only one person is central in this lesson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we are.
So are you saying that you are revising the school curriculum? You're doing something to change the curriculum?
well,
Is that
we started in
our
our own lesson plan, and we hope
Okay.
that this is actually an influence, maybe an idea, an inspiration for other lesson plans. Yes.
So does every school have the authority to structure their own curriculum which they present to their pupils? Is that how it goes?
Within a framework, I think.
Within
a
Maybe
framework.
you can say more about it.
No,
Yeah,
you
please,
know it very well.
Dr. Eric, tell us more.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the Netherlands, for every 2 years, we do have goals, but these ones are defined quite broadly.
Yeah.
So every school can choose its own methods. For history, for example, there's 6 methods on the market, and you can choose which one you want. You can add, you can adapt, you can ask speakers to come into your class, etc. So there's quite much freedom, honestly. Yeah,
Mm.
there is.
Mm. So, the way you are approaching giving your lessons now, which impact do you hope to make or to bring over to the students? Can you make that clear? Yes. Sin, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sin Rottenhouse. I like your last name.
Thank you. So we, because of the characters from all the different countries, we, we want to let the children know that most of the times the slavery in the Dutch method is taught about from the white view, you know, from the American view, and now we also take the African view, and so we want that every child can
relate to different characters. Okay,
Yes.
now from a very practical point of view, how I just want to have an idea of how you're trying to blend the picture, the idea. I mean, the slavery story. How do you intend to make it more complete so that every, like you said, Imka, every character is represented in the story. How exactly is that going to be? I want to be clear on that. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I did some lessons from the lesson plan in St. Martin.
Yeah.
And in one of the lessons, it's about raw materials like cotton trees and where it comes from. And in that lesson, I have the story of 3 children, one from Portugal, one from Africa, and one from Brazil.
Yeah.
And in that story, the boy from Portugal, his dad, goes on a ship to Africa. There, You have the story of the boy from Africa who goes from his hometown. He has to go on a big ship, really scary, and so he goes from Africa. He goes to Brazil, and there is also a little girl whose dad has a plantation, and so all the stories connect to each other. And that's also how the kids can connect to the stories. Yes.
Okay, so these are fictitious stories which is created to help to create something in the minds and understanding of the children so they can see themselves in the stories. Okay, why has it taken so long to create something like this? Why has it taken so long to create something like this?
It's a good question.
Let Dr. Eric answer that.
Well, I think that, of course, it's not the part of history we are so proud of. And so for a long time, it hardly has been into methods. And when it has, it was told from the outside and not from the inside. It possibly hurts all of us too much, so we don't want to be faced with this part of history. And if we are faced with it, then we would like somebody to tell from outside so that it doesn't come in. I guess that's the most important reason.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this program, this is we're dealing with modern slavery and human rights, but especially we're talking about how to bring out the full story as we educate and raise up our children so that they get to know the full story. But also we want to help our children to see themselves in the entire story about slavery and human rights so that they can feel connected. Also want to clear the notion that everything good is white and everything bad is black, so to speak. We kind of want to blend the story more fully, give a more balanced picture so that our kids, when they're being raised up, they have enough, they know enough about the history of slavery fully so that they can connect with it and be, so both white and black children can be empathetic, when dealing with one another because they know the background story very well. From the discussion we've had so far, Dr. Eric has said that it looks like the historical content of slavery as given in lessons to our children are inadequate, and they are working hard on correcting that so that there's death in the stories which are presented so that all the children can know the truth. It is very possible that, let's say, kids even kids from, let's say, African backgrounds who are born and raised here would know very little about the backgrounds. The only thing that might begin to make them to question why they are treated differently is maybe when they encounter some maybe discrimination or whatever you, and they begin to ask questions. Why am I this one and my friend is this one? And then stories begin to come out, even though they may not get the full story. So it is good that whilst they are in school, they get to know the full history about slavery. So both white and black kids get to know the truth, isn't it? That's what this is all about. Is that what it's all about? Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, in case you want to give us a call, if you are watching and you have a question for us, please give us a call on 020-3374-160 to talk to our guests from the University of Professional Education in Doetinchem. Which part of the Netherlands is that?
That's in the east. If you speak our dialect, you will hear some German.
Is that Limburg or what?
No, it's Gelderland, Achterhoek.
Okay. Because I've seen it somewhere when I'm driving, but I've forgotten. Is it like when you go to Belgium? No.
When you go to Belgium from Amsterdam, you're very welcome to visit Achterhoek, but normally it's not on your way.
Thank you.
It's on your way to Germany.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, now, is there a point we're missing that you want to bring out to our listeners? Something very important, not only for the adults, but for the children. You want them to be aware of the changes that you are bringing into the curriculum. Maybe other schools can pick it up and also change the curriculum to make it more balanced and more transparent and more truthful, so to speak. Yeah. If there is something that you would like to bring across, please share it with our audience. Okay. Okay. Let's take a short break.